biggest thing to hit the retail sector in years. It's also known as group buying or daily deals, and it's gone from nothing to a $500 million industry in Australia in 3 years. But while consumers love a bargain, not everyone's happy. Regulators are receiving hundreds of consumer complaints about group buying every month, and many small businesses say they're being stung by unfair treatment from some online sites. Rebecca Bailey reports.
Yeah, I'll get you to sort of point your head down to the ground. Yeah, that's it.
Stephen Hayes runs his own photography business in southeast Queensland. The photographer's always looking to attract new clients, so he tried so-called group buying discount vouchers, hoping it would boost business.
Beautiful. It's like any small business. It has its ups and downs, and decisions that you make have to be made wisely. All right.
In the middle of last year, Stephen Hayes signed a contract with Living Social, one of Australia's biggest online group buying sites and the second largest in the world. Consumers were offered a photo shoot plus photos for a discounted $59. Living Social was to take half and Stephen Hayes the other half, barely covering his costs.
And that's a wrap. The plan was once they get their shoot, they would come back and get repeat business. Initially, it was very positive. You find out really quick that most of them aren't loyal customers as such. They're just out there for the bargain.
No, I totally dispute that, actually. So our data says that that's not the case. We worked with a research company called Quantium, and they look at credit card transactions at a macro level, and we saw that they were in actual fact going back.
As per their contract, Living Social paid Stephen Hayes half his share up front, with a promise of the balance 3 months later, or when he had completed a number of shoots.
Some of them.
I like that one.
That one there?
Yeah.
12 months later, Living Social still owes him more than $3,000. That's caused him a cash flow problem, meaning he was unable to service all the vouchers. For a year, he's tried to contact Living Social to resolve the problem.
Every time I've spoken to them via email, phones, I'm still waiting on phone calls back after 12 months. I don't think I'll ever get those. And emails, they're very short and sweet emails, and it's always passing the buck.
Is that acceptable, and why is he still waiting to be paid?
So my CFO made contact with him today to understand the circumstances behind his concerns. I think, and we are working with him to make sure that there is no money owed.
Why is it that it's the timing of that being resolved is today after we contacted this company?
We had the same question for Stephen, actually. I said, so we wanted to know why things stalled from his perspective, and from his perspective, he didn't escalate it on our side, and we didn't have very strong processes back then about escalating it internally either. So I think it's not something that would likely to happen now. We've got much better processes, and I think, in Stephen's own words, he sort of decided it was all a bit too hard and stopped asking the question. So.
Online group buying sites are an area that has come under the spotlight for the ACCC. It's certainly something that we're looking at the moment.
The ACCC is investigating the group buying industry after receiving hundreds of complaints from both consumers and small businesses. Deputy Chairman of the Commission, Michael Shaper, says while the number of complaints is declining, consumers still say they can't redeem their vouchers, and small businesses claim unfair treatment by some online companies.
They often find that the site is actually offering far more numbers of sales than they ever agreed to in the first place. And that poses real problems for them. Often it means that they can't honour all the commitments, and in turn that damages their reputation in the marketplace as well.
We've been a victim of our own success to some degree, going from zero to incredibly popular, having millions of customers and selling hundreds of thousands of vouchers every month in a period of 2 or 3 years. You do suffer some growing pains.
Now, on the redemption side of things, it allows the redemption to be done a lot easier.
Living Social employs 270 people across Australia. CEO Adam Rigby says the company deals with thousands of small businesses a year, and that most are happy. The company's public relations consultant arranged for 7:30 to film at a restaurant in inner city Sydney.
We've seen people, come back, and I think that's where I look at it and go, you know what, it was worth it.
Proprietor Darryl Felstead says he's used Living Social a number of times over 3 years.
It's about the exposure that I got. It's not all about, always making a profit. It's also about bringing new customers into your restaurant. It's
a different story across town at Simon Hunter's Cafe on Sydney's North Shore. He had a contract with Living Social to provide a $90 meal in exchange for a voucher which cost just $40. Simon Hunter hoped it would bring loyal locals into his struggling new cafe. But even though he sold 350 vouchers, very few of those customers have come back.
And we actually had someone who actually bought one and lived in Canberra. So he drove from Canberra to use the voucher. Would have cost him more in petrol and time and effort than it was for the voucher.
They're not forced to go into these deals, but they need to make sure and do the sums before they do it, because there are quite a few small businesses who have been burned quite badly. What do most people complain?
Assistant Commissioner of New South Wales Fair Trading, Don Jones, says group buying is the second most complained about industry in that state, ranking higher than used car salesmen. He says group buying sites often don't resolve problems until after a complaint has reached the state or federal regulator.
It makes me cranky to see large businesses use places like Fair Trading as their customer handling system. That's not a good way to do business in the long run. So whenever we have seen businesses who have a large number of complaints, we'll go to that business and tell them that they need to do more.
Best place to start, go back to the group buying site. If you can't get that complaint resolved, then you can come to us at ADMA, we'll pick up that complaint for you and work with the group buying site to get that complaint resolved.
The Association for Data-Driven Marketing and Advertising, or ADMA, represents 8 of the biggest group buying sites, including Living Social. ADMA CEO Jodie Sangster says since the big players signed an industry code of conduct a year ago, things are getting better.
If they are legitimate, if they are doing the right thing, if they are adhering to standards, they will have that logo on their website so that you can clearly see they are the ones that are doing the right thing.
Since 7:30 interviewed Stephen Hayes, Living Social has promised to pay him. The money hasn't materialised yet, and he says he'll never do group buying again. After 7:30 interviewed Living Social and its suggested small business owner Darryl Felstead, his restaurant is now featured as popular on the site.
Did they offer you any incentive?
No, not at all.
Not a better deal in the future?
No, because it's not about that.
You, for one, won't be going back.
No, I won't be going back, no. I've given it an opportunity, but it hasn't worked for me.
I mean, I've had to refund a whole lot because they can't get hold of Living Social and it's my name on the line.
Rebecca Bailey reporting. For many rugby league fans,